going on, family? Excuse the rain in the background. I just got through watching the Spence Ugas fight, man. I had to rewatch it just to look at some things, and I'll have to I'll say this, man. Dennis Ugas, man, he gave it all he had to. He gave it all he had, bro. I guess towards the dynamics of the fight started changing in the fifth. We started seeing him kind of be susceptible to, started slowing down. I'm not sure what round he got his ribs broken in. I'm assuming it was probably somewhere between the fifth and the seventh round. Ugas' ribs was broke. I would say it happened in the seventh, because that way he did the Errol in the sixth. He still was at least throwing in the sixth round. From 7 on up, man, he wasn't throwing. From 7 to 10, Ugas wasn't really throwing much shots. And I guess you can attribute that to his rib being fractured. So I have to, give Ugas a little bit more respect than what I was really giving him. You know what I mean? He had a fractured rib. He couldn't really throw as much as he should have. But I still think he should have been a little bit more defensively responsible. I still think the game plan was wrong. Kind of like Erickson Lubin fighting Sebastian Fundora. That game plan was foolish. To sit there in the pocket with him for most of the whole fight, that was a bad game plan. You see what happened to him. And it's kind of like similar to Dennis Ugas, what happened to him. Standing there in the pocket with Errol Spence and not moving around as much is not a good idea. And he was doing that from early on in the fight. He wasn't moving as much as he should have been. He was giving Errol some good work first 3-4 rounds, but after that, Errol started figuring him out, and it just, he was just there too long, bro. He should have known when to get in and out, and he wasn't doing that, and that's what cost him. I will say this though about Errol, man. Listen, because I'm doing a prediction. I'm gonna give the official prediction for Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. I believe the fight, I want to hold high. I want to hold high optimism for this fight to happen. So I'm not going to put no negativity out there. Let's just keep pumping that in the air that the fight is coming, so we can get this fight. Okay, so I believe the fight is on its way. Not sure when. Maybe late. I don't want it to be later in the year. I say maybe August, September would be nice. Maybe before the holiday. Maybe September, something like that. But I will say, man, listen, Errol Spence is a fucking machine, dude. I'm going to just keep it all the way 100. I'm not going to take that from the man. He's a machine. Even though I wasn't impressed with the fight itself, because Ugas didn't really bring much out of Errol Spence as far as I'm concerned. So I wasn't really impressed with Errol Spence on that aspect, where I got to see him really push to the limit. I didn't really see him push to the limit, so I can't say I was really impressed with the fight. But I was impressed with his work rate. I was impressed with his work. I loved his work. He definitely a machine, bro. And I'm gonna say this: this is a highly dangerous fight for both Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. And I will say there's a lot of mistakes Errol Spence made in this fight. He cannot make the same mistakes with Terrence Crawford. And there's a lot of things Terrence Crawford might have to shape up on that he can't do against Errol Spence as well. Oh man, this is the reason why most of us want to see this fight. Because this is a dangerous fight, man, for both of these dudes in different ways. Okay, so I can't wait to give this prediction, and I just had to, touch on that real quick, man. I had to go rewatch the fight. It was an okay fight. It wasn't spectacular because it was pretty one-sided. Can't blame Errol Spence for that. That's Ugas' fault. So, you got to go in there with the right game plan. And even if you got the right game plan, sometimes you just don't come out on top. That's what it is. But he gave it what he had. He didn't quit. I just wish I was a little disappointed in him because I didn't like his game plan, bro. I thought he could have, he could have stuck to a different plan. but he did. He wanted to go in there and try to bang it out. Then he was inviting Spence in to fight. You saw him inviting Spence. Come on, let's go. Doing the same thing with Sean Porter, like waving him on, like, come on, let's go, let's get it. Knowing he ain't fucking built, he not really, he can't really deal with that shit, And I'm not too sure really who can handle that, man. I'm be honest, man. But I would say maybe Terrence Crawford and Boots. That's probably it. And Boots is still a question. It's questionable right now. We don't even think we're gonna get that fight at 147. That's not gonna happen. If you're gonna see Jerron Ennis and Errol Spence have a fight, it likely will be at 154, and that's gonna be a long time from now. Because Errol is done with this division. This is his last fight with Terrence Crawford at 147, and he's gonna move up. So I'm assuming Jerron Ennis and the next crop of fighters are gonna make their stake their claims at 147, and then he himself is gonna move up. Once he probably collect belts. I think Jerron Ennis is probably going to be undisputed at 147 the minute Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence drop the belts and move up, or whoever loses to Errol, rather it's Errol or Bud, whoever dropped the belts, who wins, ain't going to drop the belt. I don't know what Bud is doing. I don't know if he's going to stay at 147 if he wins and defends the title a few times. I don't know. But Errol definitely ain't staying at 147 after this fight. So who knows, if we get a rematch between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, maybe the rematch would be at 154 and the first fight would be at 147. That's what it's looking like. But I'm off this, man. Just wanted to bring that up real quick, touch on that. This is Rebel Life Boxing. I love y'all. Catch y'all on the next one.